What's good, Real You?
What's going on, everyone? It's the Real You Podcast, episode 5. We locked in. Got my boy LeVar to the right of me.
You get me.
Got my boy Deem to the further right.
Yes, sir.
Then we got everyone else. It don't even matter.
You already know the face, know what I mean?
So you already know why we're here. We here to unpack toxic masculinity.
And we not talking about the Twitter con, too. We talking about, like, real life. Toxic masculinity.
Every day.
You feel me? So definitely you got to tune in. So I really want to start off with asking the guys, like, what does it mean to be a man to you? When you hear that question, what's the first thing that comes to your head?
A man got to be strong. You know, a man got to take care of his woman.
Wait a minute. I want the real answer, bro.
A man got to put food on the table. Like, these are all what society says a man should be. You feel me? But I think we all have our own definition of what it means to be a man. Like, you know, as long as you handle your own and take care of your business, you know, I feel like that's qualities of what a man should be.
Is that it, though? Like, is it just taking care of something? Like what about not getting caught up in the whirlwind of always taking care of things? What about what you want? Like, I mean, like, again, like, exactly what you said, like, being a man and what a man is subjective to you. You feel me? Like, for me, it's one of those things, like, I agree with you on that. Like, a man is someone who's resilient. A man is someone who is just taking care of business and handling his own. That's what I'm saying. Like, again, I'm biased because I know a couple poems, like, you know what I mean, Test of a Man, whatever. But yeah, you feel me? But like, on some real stuff, I definitely agree with you. But it's also one of those things. Like, for me, it's just, like, a man is just someone who just, like, take care of their own and make sure that things are handled.
Get it done all the time. What Rick Ross said, a boss is one who guarantee we gon' eat.
That's a fact, sir. That's a fact. That's a good one. That's a bar.
That is a good one.
That's
Rose.
A bar right there. That's a bar right there.
Rose, baby. That's
your nickname?
Yes, sir.
You know, and I feel like that notion of what a man is and what a man is supposed to be I feel like it changes over time, right? I feel like as we grew older, we all created our own definition of what it means to be a man. And when we were younger, we all probably had the same idea of that a man is to be strong, a man is to be firm, a man can't show any feelings, a man can't cry or else he's a quote unquote little girl. And that's something I, had to get out of my head and think like, I know what a man is, and a man is me, right? And it's not what anyone else thinks. And it's just crazy to me, the world we live in. And I know that society has it that the man has these certain standards that a man is supposed to be doing certain things, but like, who gets to pick and choose that, And there's a debate. They say that, like, it's always been like that, so why don't we keep it like that? But it's like, why does it have to be like that?
Because of Twitter, nigga.
I think it's because Adam came first.
I'll say looking at life in general, how many of you guys come from a matriarch? It's not like you guys, like in general, your life, your family, looking at the last few generations, how many of you guys come from a matriarch?
I could say I do.
Yeah.
So it's funny how many of us come from matriarchs, right? However, we're in the United States, which is a patriarch society. Scary.
Yeah, it is.
So there's a lot of toxic masculinity going on, regardless, because many women are doing the job for us. However, we're looked at as men who are really men are really doing a job. In the face, men are really doing a job. Scary to me.
No, I agree with you. I think on some real shit too. They got this thing on Netflix called the 14th Amendment. So joint with Will Smith, whatever. I was watching it last night, and while they were talking about the implementation of the 14th Amendment, one of the biggest things they were talking about is how this country is supposed to be a man's country. Like, the ideals of what this country started on was from the fact of, like, no other gender really mattered, let alone had rights other than a white male, you feel me? But, like, just the fact that it's just men in general, and, like, we're looked at as these dudes who are the breadwinners, the ones that do the work, whatever. Like, a lot of the time, if I'm being honest, like, I was watching another show and I heard something, and I heard there was one specific scene in Umbrella Academy where the shorty walked into the diner, and her husband had just got locked up, and she came in on her bully like, nah, we about to sit at this diner and occupy this diner, you feel me, and make them and force our presence to be in their face. And one of the ladies said, behind every strong man is an even stronger woman. Sure. And it's just like, all of that ties into exactly what you said. Like, we're perpetuated to be this sense of like ultimate support system, ultimate, just like this sturdy sense of a person, when it's just like, nigga, I got feelings too, you feel me? Like, word. I mean, like, sometimes I want to sit there and cry, sometimes I'll be in my bag, and it's just like, we could go on and on. Like, that's just the way it is.
I mean, I got a question for the fellas. Like, you know, we're talking about what society says a man should be, and, you know, how we should uphold ourselves and be this strong person in this world. But like, what would you say was like your breaking moment, or that time that you guys felt like you were vulnerable, like you could really open up to somebody? Like, you know, was it a conversation with your mom? Was it, you know, maybe getting into a relationship? You know, was it?
You trying to make us cry today?
Nah, I just want to know, like, when did y'all know, like, yo, boys could cry too? Like, you know, men could actually feel.
That's a deep one. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a couple moments. It's been a couple moments for me that I had that feeling. You know, being the little brother and only having a single mother, right? Like, I've there's been a couple times where I've cried and I've been told, like, you shouldn't be crying, right? And then there's been times when I've cried and I've been told, like, nah, it's okay, you need to let it out. But I'll say that defining moment had to be in grad school. And I'm like, yo, it's okay for you to have those times where, those mental breakdowns, or those times where you're showing emotion, right? Because, you know, you're going through it. So for me, and that's when I realized that's okay. But look how long that took.
Yeah, grad school's OD.
It definitely took a minute. I won't even lie. For me, no lie, it probably took when my grandmother passed in 2019. Like, remember, I'm in the crib because that was when I was working late night. I'm working afternoon shifts. Hit her hearing screaming upstairs, ran upstairs because I lived downstairs. Boom. Pop's like, yeah. I knew what's up. Just off the, like, I just be knowing without even them saying anything. I was like, shit, somebody died. But I was just like, who? And Pops told me, yeah, your grandmother died. And yo, no cap, I dead sat there and just was stuck. Like, didn't know if I should cry. My Pops is tearing up right now because that's like my mom. That's my Pops and my grandmother. They had a special bond and whatnot. And even me and my, like, out of all my grandmother's grandchildren, I was the only one she called basically my grandfather's name, because I never met my grandfather, but after my grandfather passed, it was straight to me. Boom. She calling me my grandfather every time. So it's like, me and my grandmother had a special bond. Granted, like, she was in Nigeria and whatnot. But that moment, no lie, we went to Nigeria. Boom, buried my grandmother. I'm still not crying. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is wrong?
That's crazy, right? That's what I'm saying. Why did you feel stuck?
Came back. I don't know. It's, you know what it was? Is like just growing up. Like, even growing up, like, just on my dad's side. Usually, my dad's side, they don't like showing emotion. Even my own cousin didn't cry either, because my sister started crying. Yo, I had to black him because he told her to stop crying. I'm like, yo, what's your problem? Like, what's the issue? But then it didn't hit me till, like, probably I came back a month later. Just in my room, started tearing up. I'm like, damn, my grandmother gone. But it just hit me, like, and then I'm like, yo, why am I even had to go to my mother, like, yo, damn. And then my mother was like, oh, why you just started crying? I'm like, yo, honestly, I don't even know. Like, but then I was like, yo, it's probably just I wasn't comfortable letting it out and whatnot, especially around my parents, because I'm like, yo, growing up, they was just like, you know how it is growing up in an African household. They don't really care about certain, like, you're just supposed to be that, especially I'm the only boy, so you're supposed to be that alpha male or friend.
But that's some real shit, and I feel like, do you feel like your only opportunity to cry is in that space of solitude and silence where there's no one around to judge you?
Definitely, like, me personally, yeah, like, I had to learn that it's okay to cry around people. Like, yo, it is what it is. Like,
facts.
But it's not easy though. Like,
it's not easy.
Me personally, like, I could probably count how many times in my hand I cried in front of somebody.
Right.
And most of them was, you know, my family members, you know, maybe my mom, if that. But, opening up is not easy. Like, and I think for me personally, I hold a lot of things in. Like I'm one of those like ticking time bombs, unfortunately. And rarely do I blow up, but like, I'll take stuff, I'll take hits here and there, but I won't say nothing.
Right.
I won't really tell nobody. Like, I don't really like to talk to people about my problems. I like to kind of handle them on my own. But, as you get older, you learn that like you can't go through life by yourself.
I definitely want to touch on that because that brings me back to high school. And there was a situation that happened, of course, with a girl, right? And back then, I thought situations with girls, like what I was told, right? Basically, yo, bro, you gotta eat that. You gotta hold that L, right? And, for me, it was just like the situation was, to me, it was like severe, right? And I felt like it was invalid. They were invalidating my feelings. And I was like, yo, hold that. And like, when I tell you that shit had me done off for the whole summer. Like, I'm telling you, like, it happened like right before school hit, summer. I tell you,
cold summer.
And that was before, Rather God was alive. But definitely, like, tell you, that girl had me done for. And I was like, I had some of the darkest days of my life that summer. Right. And like, to me, it was important. To others, they were like, yo, brush that shit off, hold that shit. Right. And like, when I tell you, it was days I was just in the crib, not wanting to do shit. I didn't want to go outside. I didn't want to hang with nobody. But guess what? I was still doing it. You know what? Because I didn't want anyone to know what was going on. When I tried to talk to people, niggas laughed at me. Niggas laughed in my face. And I laugh at it now because I was like, yo, it's crazy how I tried to talk to people about my feelings back then and they laughed about it. But now it's like, you can talk about feelings and people don't laugh at it as much. Yeah, the stigma of mental health, especially in like with black men, is like it's getting better. Like, they understand it more. But back then, bro, I tell you, some people have the darkest days of their life and you wouldn't even know. But they just walk away with a smile on their face and no one knew. But like, I was still doing what I had to do. So I want to pose the question to everyone, like, when that group think, right, where everybody in your group or your friend group has that same mindset, have you ever experienced that where there were like dudes having the same mindset? Like for me, it was me not really, me being in tune with my feelings early, and everyone was like, yo, bro, shut the fuck up. So has anybody really experienced that?
I'll say definitely. I like to think of some of my collegiate friendships that were some of my realest friendships. And I say that because when I was growing up, of course, same concept. Why are you upset about that? Move on. Go about your day. Now that, I'm surrounded by more people who actually are in tune with their feelings and actually care about what's going on, now it's like, okay, I have a safe space. But even growing up, my mom was not affectionate woman. Yeah, like she grew up as a real nigga out of her brothers. So it was like, why are you crying? So I would say, and I'm always bring it back to real you, because that's who's here in front of me today. There's a comfort space, right. I might hit LeVar at 3 a.m. Yo, bro, I gotta let this out real quick, right? Or I might have someone like JR. I can call JR at 3 a.m. But I know JR, if it's JR's in the same position, he ain't calling me at 3 a.m. to convent because JR gonna eat that to the chest. JR's gonna take it to the chest.
I'm gonna take it to the grave.
So I would say everybody here, there's two sensitive people here. It's Hakiri and it's definitely Kobe. The thing with Kobe will disassociate himself for a little minute before he let you know what's going on with him. Me, sure. I give it like 2 days. Like, nah, bros, I'm fucked up right now. Y'all know I hit my breaking point very easily. So I think everyone here does the same thing. Kadeem, I'm calling all my bros out right now. Kadeem won't tell you what's going on until like it's a whole year later. I forgot to tell you I was going through this to this time. That's why I was acting like that. LeVar just started working mad hard. That's his coping mechanism. LeVar started working mad hard.
I'm Jamaican. What you doing? I need to pick up an extra job or two.
What Ra will do, Ra will just sit there and just be like, I'm good, bro. The whole time I can hear it in his voice. Voice cracking and all that.
Nah.
Right? Like, voice. You see the jaw? You see the jawline? You see the jawline? That's where it all comes from. And then JR say something subliminal. Like, That was shit crazy.
Yo, JR, right?
Yeah,
He
like, this shit
say some
crazy.
mad random
Like,
shit.
what are you talking about? Right?
He's talking about himself.
So
I
was talking about
you know what
himself.
it is? I say that because I know y'all not gonna catch on.
Exactly.
And I just be like, alright.
So exactly.
I already let it out. It's cool.
it's
I'm good now.
Nigga had a whole therapy session.
Hold on,
I'll
bring it
say
back,
this.
bring
I'll
it
say
back.
this 100% that it's definitely good to know your friends because you'll know their gestures.
Right.
But definitely in a comfort space, we will let each other know. But it's a thing of time. It doesn't matter if it happened yesterday. We're not telling each other for like a week or so. All right, and that's okay unless it's something really, really drastic. But if it's something that we can put in the back burner, we're gonna put it in the back burner, right? So I think moving forward, like as men, it's like, all right, is you going through something? Yeah, know me. I'm gonna antagonize you. You going through something? You straight? You good? You feel me? But even then, it's like, listen, we got to eat that up, right? We were raised to be strong, so we're gonna eat that up regardless.
Right. And I think for those who don't have the accessibility like we do to this like unique and special friend group, right? I think and this is for me, like even in high school, like the way I used to get through things, if I'm keeping it a stack, like I used to go on bike rides, you feel me, all the way to like Soundview by like Classic Harbor, and I used to go all the way to the end. I used to just really sit there and dead ass talk to myself.
Watch
on
the
some
water.
hot, you feel me? On some hot shit, I really used to sit there and talk to myself. But it's one of those things like I wasn't in the best of environments to sit there and tell people what I was going through. Like in high school, that's when I first developed anxiety. Like I didn't understand what was going on, so that way I was like, yo, if I don't know what the fuck going on with me, how the hell is somebody else supposed to tell me what's going on with me? So I found other alternative outlets to kind of like let these things out, right? And then it's just like, again, like I always make the Twitter joke, but it's real shit. Like people on Twitter will really sit here and say, man this, man this, man this, man this, and it's just like, yo, like on top of the societal norms that you dealing with on Twitter, you also dealing with in the crib. Like, you feel me? Your mom may be pressuring you, like, yo, like, what's good with you, son? I'm like, yo, I've cried more in front of my female friends than I have in front of my mother, and it's just like, and it's just like on some real shit, like. My mom is just like, she like Kiwi said, she's just gangster. Like, she had all brothers. She was the oldest child. Like, she just was doing the most. Like, she was basically one of the bros. Like, it's like, it's kind of whack. But it's just like, for those who don't have that space, like, there's so many alternatives. And this is another thing that I think would be cool to talk about. Like, yo, like, having a therapist. Like, having a therapist.
Yo,
like,
I've never.
When you say having a therapist, though, like, growing up, I've always been told. I remember one time I told my mom, I said, "Yo, I feel like I want to go talk to the school therapist because like my pop's not around, like, and I feel like I need to go talk to them." My mom completely said, "Like, why are you about to go tell some random person our business?"
yeah, cause she probably thought you about to snitch.
You gotta remember
like,
one
yo,
thing
you
though.
feel me?
They're not used to that.
It was just like, why are we doing that? And she was like, "You're not crazy, right?" So that's another thing. Like, y'all gotta be associated as crazy. So for me, that's not as easy for everyone to now go and talk to a therapist, especially within the black community.
Yeah, I feel like within the black community, like they say therapy is for those of us that are religious, you go talk to God about it. Like
My
you
mom
feeling
too.
some type of way, go pray
on
about it. You know,
or you leave it up
never
to
can
God,
you really
like,
go speak to somebody that may actually have some solid advice for you.
That's true.
And I feel like for me, my therapy are my friends. Like, when I come to y'all with my problems or when I'm feeling some type of way, I'll definitely get around to speaking to y'all and get some different perspectives and maybe see things differently. So therapy for me is definitely my friends, but I actually want to go to a therapist though.
You know what's crazy? I mean, I went one time in Buff State. I just heard about it.
The only nigga I know that's ever actually
I'm not
took advantage of that.
I'm not jacking that though.
No, what?
Nah, you don't that I know.
Yeah.
You're the only one that I actually know that took advantage of that. I wish I did.
Nah,
Real
bro.
shit.
I went because I was like, you know what? I thought nothing was really wrong with me, right? I was just like, yo, let me try this out. And honestly, I didn't go there in good faith because I honestly lied to him. Because he started asking me questions. I was like, nah, I can't tell him the truth. Because I realized I wasn't really in tune or ready to share with him. So I didn't get the real experience because I did not tell the truth. He would ask me like, oh, how's the relationship with your family? I'm like, oh, it's the greatest. Like, and he'd be like, and I was just like, I went a couple times and then he brought me to like the group therapy, and that's when I just left because I was like, yeah, this is not for me.
This is not an A.
I started hearing problems or issues, I should say, that people I thought were like better than mine. So I started invalidating whatever was going on with me. I was like, oh, nah, they got it way worse than me. So I was like, you know what? Why am I even here? So I just never went. I just never went back after. I didn't even contact him. I was like, nah, that's a dub.
Okay, so since you brought up with being in tune, like, do y'all feel like y'all in tune with y'all emotions as of right now, or from how did? Well, let me word that betterly. How do y'all feel y'all emotions is from like probably growing up to currently as we are current age right now?
I think when I was younger, I was a very emotional person. As far as I'm always, if I'm getting hurt, I'm always crying. Like, are you talking in terms of like with the women?
I don't know. You mean handling it?
I'm just talking about in like life, expressing yourself. Because I wouldn't really put yourself and say you're very emotional, because that would make you don't want nobody to look at you crazy. But because being emotional is like it's okay in a sense,
right?
And being emotional is not really just only crying. That's not really the biggest thing. Like,
okay, so when I was younger, I used to cry a lot.
Okay,
right? Yeah. But then as I gotten older, because I was told by like uncles and other people, or even like other women, you shouldn't be crying. Dust yourself off. Now I don't cry. Like now I feel like I have to find that solitude for me to cry. Like now I don't want to cry in front of other people. Like you mentioned, like you never cried in front of your mom. The only person I probably cry in front of is my mom, is because I feel like there's no judgment. I can't cry in front of y'all. I can't cry in front of any female.
I feel you.
Any other female friend or even my current girlfriend, because I feel like there might be judgment. There might be some type of judgment. And so because I used to cry a lot when I was younger, and I've been told you're not supposed to, now you can't. So that's how it's changed over time for me.
I just want to say you cried on your birthday. Continue.
Facts. I'll say this.
It was tears of joy though. I'm talking about.
He's seen the Kobe cake. He started tearing up.
But that's tears of joy though. I'm talking like you really going through some shit.
Boy was looking like Herbo.
I'm talking about you really going through some shit. You can't cry.
So I'll tell you this: the last time I decided to open up, even on a relationship basis, I don't cry often. I tend to shrug a lot of my issues off and just laugh at them later on, like, damn, I made it through that, or I went through that, right? I cried a lot as a kid, in between like the ages of maybe like 3 and like 8 years old. But once I moved to New York, I had to get gritty, right? Facts. I think I've been immune to crying for so many years, but the last time I cried was when my great grandmother died. That was the rock of the family, obviously. So I had to let that out. I had to let it out. Like, I was boo-hoo crying at the funeral. Like, hold on, sad moment. The last time I cried before that. Yeah, I know what it was. I cried during a very intimate moment because I was afraid, like, wow, this young woman's like gonna be gone. It's funny at that point. I looked at myself like,
yo, why you laughing at my boy?
You're in tune. I'm not gonna lie. This is a very open setting. Well, I cried because I was
let me stop.
I cried because I said, wow, I'm not gonna see this woman for a very long time. Right. I gotta carry a lot of my issues by myself for them moving forward because I used to share them with her.
Right.
She threw it in my face last year.
Oh nah.
What did she say on Twitter? You remember?
Oh yeah.
She said the next man that I laid in bed with, that cries in bed with me, he's out of here. Ooh. So that just shows you that's why it's so hard for a man to be intimate as well as open with a woman, because at the end of the day, they're gonna throw it in your face somehow. That's not every woman, but that's what shuts me down. And people look for the cause of toxic masculinity, and that's an example of it right there, because I actually shared that intimate moment with you, and you shared it with social media. People who know me, you,
I hate that.
Cat, but it was a lot, right? I looked at that and I was angry, not because I thought about the moment. You revealed a very intimate time that I only shared with my inner circle. So you're throwing my intimacy, my comfortability with you, my softness as a man in my face at that point.
Ain't soft, bro.
Listen,
that's real.
if I open up to you, I expect to have patient client confidentiality. Like,
yo, bro,
there's an non-disclosure.
Come on.
Whether you my shorty,
if a real nigga open up to you,
I'm expecting to have that. Like, I don't need the world to know what we going through or what I've expressed to you.
So let me ask y'all, because
this is the question you asked.
This is the question. This is the question of the hour. Because Carrie brought it up.
Oh yeah.
And now I have to get in there.
Yeah.
Do women uphold toxic masculinity?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No
Yes.
brainer.
All that.
Every woman swears up
As
and down,
a man,
she wants a very soft, loving man.
In tune with they feelings.
Look at the response you get from a woman when you're very aggressive with her in comparison to when you're very soft with her. Right? When you're very soft with her, it's a brush it off kind of situation. When you're very aggressive and when you went not violent, but when you're more aggressive and more stern, it's a ooh.
She about to throw it.
It's a turn on now. Right, but when you're very soft with her, when you're very
I'm about
soft,
to catch
when
the
you're
spirit in here.
when you're very soft with her, it's whatever. When you gotta turn up on her like, yo, you playing with me now.
Yo.
And now it's a different ball game.
Now it's makeup.
So it's like so you said you like me because I'm a soft lover, but you respond more to my aggressive side when I'm bringing out that toxic masculinity. When I'm really exerting my dominance and my strength over you, my vocal cords are now at the top volume ever, and now you're more responsive. So I would definitely say that women definitely do support toxic masculinity. They support aggression. And aggression is most times an insecurity in a man. So you're supporting my insecurities. Now you're feeding into them.
And it's crazy, bro. Cause I look at social media and look at the great page of Justin LeBoy that everyone loves so
He's a
much.
simp.
You know,
Niggas be
I ain't gonna lie. At
brokey.
first, I wasn't tuning in, and I started looking at it. I was like,
Simping.
But definitely, bro, the upholding of toxic masculinity is ridiculous because it's always this: a real man will do this. Bro, I'll drop dead before I let a woman, a man, anyone tell me what a real man is.
Behind a computer screen at that.
I could never, bro, because it like I said, there's no one way to live life. Like, I don't care what happened in the past. Like, yeah, I acknowledge that life was a certain way, but I would never let anyone tell me this is what a real man does. And when people say stuff like that, it's so that they could be at the beneficial end of that. And I'm not with none of that. I'm at a point in my life, there is nobody that could ever say anything like that to me to undermine my masculinity that's going to make me fold or make me fold into anything that they want. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Yeah, I'm not a man. Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. Tell me more. Please, go on.
And that comes with age and time.
And it does.
Definitely maturity. It's just like definitely. I feel like it's just to the point where I think matter of fact, it's like when women. Damn, I lost my train of thought, yo.
Bro.
Nah, but I was gonna say like, for me, I really like let me get my thoughts together. I feel like, let's be honest, there's something about taking care of a woman that makes you feel like, you know, like a man. It makes you feel good. You feel me? Like, and I'm not
Choose
saying
your
like,
words, right?
listen to me.
This is not for the future fans.
Listen to me. I'm not talking about like spoiling your girl or, you know, buying every single thing for her, but it's like, you know, how would you feel if your woman was not necessarily the breadwinner, but the one that pays for everything when you go out?
Damn,
like,
bro, that's that toxic
That's
masculinity.
Listen.
I'm here for it, bro.
I'm
You
having
here
a hard
for it?
time trying to understand.
But isn't that a form of toxic masculinity?
I'm
Why do
not
you
saying
feel away that a woman that's supposed to be your partner?
I'm saying
is
it's
paying for
okay.
stuff?
I'm saying it's okay, but I'm saying, how would you feel if she did that every single time?
I wouldn't mind it.
But what I'm saying, my fault. What I'm saying is that's the toxic masculinity in us, where you feel a way that she's doing that every time. Hey, by all means,
Respectfully,
do that.
We as men shouldn't have a problem. Like, I know some men, they probably was growing up. Like, I grew up hearing, oh yeah, a man's supposed to do X, Y, and Z. Boom, your woman say, oh, nah, man, pay for this, pay for that, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But if a woman, nah, man, she trying to treat you, she's like, oh, yo, babe, yo, you're looking a little scruffy. Let me go take you get a haircut. Shit, what about me? Do your thing, man. And it's not a problem because it's like we both building with each other. So it's like we reciprocate. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm about to sit here and be eating off her, but we just sometimes she gonna take care of a bill, and then it is what it is.
Right. If you show me love, I'm gonna show you love. And it's no
It should be
funny.
mutual.
Now that you said that, right? Like my big bros, yo, shout out to Bugs, Onik, and my brother. Like, yo, getting into my relationship, you feel me? I sat and had a conversation with them. And they had to really tell me, because I was like, yo, like, I feel weird when shorty be paying for shit. Like, they was like, yo, you gonna keep swiping your card until you have nothing left in your account. They was like, yo, like, nah, like,
I could have told you that.
No. On some real,
Julius Rock.
on some real big bros. They, yo, like, I'm in their backyard just smacking and talking to them, and they was like, yo, bro, like. Cause I'm like, damn, like, you feel me? Like, I'm gonna just explain the situation. They're like,
That's
yo,
really
like,
deep name of my phone. Julius Rock, though.
There we
I'm
go.
Jason Pitts now.
Jason Pitts now?
Gotcha, but get back
But
to
like,
your point,
but like on some real shit, they just told me like, yo, bro, like, you like, the same way you love to take care of her, let her feel like she has some sense of purpose to take care of you. And it makes no sense. It makes no sense for you to keep swiping yourself dry when it's just like, yo, like you've entered this new space of a partnership. You feel me? And like you also have a good woman. Like it's not one of these. I'm not even about to generalize and get into that, but it's also it's not one of these cases where you feel me, like you're somebody's sponsor, bro. Like you in a relationship, especially if they're offering, take it. Like,
but bro,
you want to be spoiled too,
bro. But like, and viewers, audience, best believe there's, like we said in the past episode with Black Love, there's no one way to love. If you want a sponsor, go ahead by all means. If you want 100-0. Go ahead by all means. If you want 50-50, like I said, different strokes for different folks.
That's a fact.
I don't care what you do with your love life. Just don't worry about what I do with my love life.
Shit,
so
man.
when you see someone's girl treating them right, and you see them paying bills, don't worry about she paying the bills. It's because she want to.
You don't know what I pay for.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Another thing is you don't know what people are paying for. Because like, let's say I'm handling the rent. And all you have to, and all leisure. I'm asking again, the key word is asking. I'm asking my shorty to pay is a light bill that's $200, and I got a $5,000 rent check on my head. It's just like,
no, you supposed to have it, bro.
Damn, my fault. Twitter's
gonna sit here and tell you like, like, are y'all roommates? Are y'all roommates? Like, nah. Like, yo, Twitter is fool. Yo, Twitter could really get you caught up in the head, and exactly what happened to Justin LeBoy. My son got a check and lost his brain.
I wouldn't. Wait.
Son got a check and lost his brain.
We're not disrespecting him or nothing like that, because my boy's out here. He got his own show now.
No, we love that. We love that.
We love that. He doing his
featuring
thing.
who though?
So
featuring on Revolt. No,
it's a couple folks on that. But
it's not.
Nah, that's his
Justin
episode.
Dior.
No, that's the episode. It's him.
Okay,
That's his thing. But we not really talking about it. So we gonna go back to real you.
Aside from the, there's toxic masculinity, and then there's vulnerability. Do you feel like you're okay being vulnerable in certain situations? And I say I keep it broad in that question because it can be anything, whether it's workplace, relationships, relationships with your parents, anything. Are you okay with being vulnerable, or do you like to show yourself out from certain situations? And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna tailor this question to somebody specific in this room, and know who he is.
Yeah.
So go ahead and talk.
Me?
Nah, he talking about me. It's on my body. But me. I mean, I've gotten older. Like probably back then when I was younger, high school. I'll probably not vulnerable with nobody. It's over. It's clipped. I'm not showing no emotion for nobody.
Stoic.
Respectfully, like probably growing up, how I express my emotions. I played football, so I was there. I'm tackling dudes like just getting off any built up anger, anything. Running, I was running probably like 10 miles a day, respectfully, just to burn off, just before I go home, just so I could be calm, come through, play the game, do homework, X, Y, and Z. But I mean, now I'm working my way to it. Know what I mean? Me and my parents, me and my pops definitely, like growing up, we probably, relationship was a little rocky, you know what I mean? But now we getting older, he sees me as a quote unquote man, X, Y, and Z, but it's like certain things I tell him like, nah, that's not how, cause like me and my father used to get into arguments over who's right and who's wrong. It wasn't even nothing about me trying to prove him wrong or nothing like me trying to be right. It was just me trying to tell him this is the way I see it, not the way you see it. Cause you grew up in Nigeria, I'm growing up in America. So it's different.
Generational differences.
So it's different. The way I'm growing up, like I shout out to him, like you brought me to America, cause shit, they brought me here 2 months before I was born. So thank God to that. But it was like, I'm growing up differently than you did. Like, I mean, granted, I'm thankful for everything you've done for me. But the way I'm gonna view life is not the same way you view life.
That's a fact.
So can you be vulnerable now?
I
appreciate that.
You appreciate that.
But can you be vulnerable now?
Nah, I mean now with certain people.
I respect that.
Certain people, like probably like me and my pops, we could be vulnerable depending on the circumstance. Yeah. But my mom's, I could be vulnerable with anything now. Like we got into me and my mom's. Come on, that's like I'm her only son, so that's comfort. That's about me. But me and my pops, certain things. My sisters, boom, like me and my sisters, more so I could talk to my sisters about anything because I want them to be able to tell me anything.
Same kind of time.
Just so I could, big bro, got you all the time, feel me? But just to make sure X, Y, and Z. But and then my friend groups, and I mean, I'm getting there with y'all, like Yeah. Y'all still my dog's $100,000, but certain things I keep to myself just because like I'm gonna handle it on my own, and if I can't handle it, then
see, bro.
But I'm saying I'm growing with it,
and I agree with you. Like certain people can be vulnerable with, but like that mindset of I can do bad all by myself. That mindset of like I don't need anybody to help me. It's gonna make you crash and burn eventually. Then you're gonna feel it, and then you're gonna be like, all right, I need help, and it's okay to have help.
Yeah, you just posted on Twitter last week.
Yeah.
What did you post? Because I got to pull your card on that one.
But look,
what did you post on Twitter? Answer the question. For the audience, answer the question. What did you post on Twitter?
Audience, I'm capping, but I did post.
Let
me tell you what I post, because I'm one of those people. Like,
I've been calling about it for the last few days.
Call a spade a spade, bro.
Call a spade a spade. I give good advice. I don't take my own advice.
What did you say?
I said sometimes I don't like telling certain people about my problems because I don't want to burden them. I don't want to feel like a burden.
You didn't say certain. You said people in general.
People. All right, bad. I said people, but to me,
just pull the receipts, Kerry.
You want me? You want a
I'm joking.
Do you want a vulnerable moment right now on live camera?
Nah, that's cool. It's up to you. If you're comfortable with it, bro, do you think?
I'm comfortable. You feel me? I got a call. I got a call that my grandma had COVID. Some of you know, some of you don't.
Raise up.
And for me, it was just like it crashed my world, because if you know, my grandma is like my rock, someone that I look up to and try to emulate the same type of person she is. So when I heard that, I was just upset, and that's like something I've dealt with for the past couple of years with her. And so for me, it's like situations like that, I don't feel like I can tell people about it, because it's like I got that mindset like, what the fuck you gonna do for me, right? And you know, maybe words of affirmation gonna help me out, but like at that point I was just like, I really for me in that moment, I just feel like I just needed to hear that news. I needed to take care of myself my own way, because like certain situations I feel like there's nothing people can do for me. But if it's another type of situation, I feel like I'm more open to like sharing, because I'm like, all right, maybe you can help me out. But things like this is like, she got an illness. Like, what? Unless you're a doctor, unless you're a doctor, unless you got the cure, don't ask me no fucking questions. So that's what I meant.
Do we feel like that's a form of toxic masculinity, of him wanting to like not share that emotion or share that feeling? Do you feel like I don't think that is. I don't
think so either. I think it's just a form of like guarding certain aspects of yourself and letting yourself deal with certain things. Like, I think before you can invite anyone to deal with their own problems, you have to deal with it yourself. It's the same concept that's applied to trauma. You have to understand it and deal with it yourself, and then seek for better understanding through another avenue. You feel me?
Wouldn't that be asking for help?
I would say
it is, but I'm saying, but you have to deal with it yourself first for you to then get to that next level. Because like,
what you want to say, bro?
No, that's real shit. Go ahead.
I would say that he protected his privacy before he wanted somebody to pity over him.
Exactly.
That was the most important thing for him, is that he wanted to protect his privacy, because at the end of the day, you know, you let people in. I feel like I'm being very toxic right now. People like to brag that they were there for you.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a fact.
This is a very sad time for me. You want to make it about you.
Exactly.
So why would I give you that opportunity to do so?
And we can't have people like, and that's what I feel sometimes. Sometimes you tell people stuff and like they want to make it about them. It's not about you. Like we all have our own ways which we need to be helped.
Niggas need to host a Zoom class on how to be a friend.
And like for me, like some stuff like you just got to deal with it alone, and not in a sense like I don't need help, but like how you feel comfortable dealing with it. So for me, it's like, all right, this is not news to me. Like COVID is news, but her being ill, it's like, all right, I've dealt with this for some time through grad school. Right. I know how I need to deal with this.
Right.
In a sense, and like, yeah, I told y'all after the fact, because I'm like, okay, I can tell y'all now, like, but that's not something I felt like I needed help on. If it was something else, or you straight up was like, I don't need nobody, like, yeah, what I need you for, that's different, right? So,
okay. But I think people just need to understand, like, yo, ask questions. The biggest thing is just asking questions. How do you want me to help you in this shit? How do you want to help me in this situation? How do you want me to be here for you? What do you require of me?
And I feel like, especially when it comes to relationships, if you don't have that good communication, you get to assuming. And when you start assuming, that's when you you don't know how to properly either take care of that person or speak to them. But one
real.
thing I also hate, not really necessarily hate, but about opening up, especially with specifically relationships, is like, it sucks when you told somebody so much, and then when you're not together no more, it's like that person walked away with a piece of you. You know, like you were vulnerable. You know, you opened down, you broke yourself down to them, and it's like, damn, like when it don't work out in the end, and it's sour, yeah, that don't speak no more, and it's like, wow, you know all this about me, and it's like,
You afraid she gonna
you
share
can't
it?
do nothing with it. You feel me? And
life
I'm not afraid if she gonna share it or not. You know, it's life. Like, you know, charge it to the game. But that's the shit that I guess that's what makes men not able to be so vulnerable early on. Like, you got to really know, like, is this woman down for me? Like, do I know that if I open up and I tell her about my feelings and myself, will she not, you know, look at me no type of way?
I mean, you could put that in the same aspect as friendship. Like some friends, like as you get older, y'all have maybe bicker about something. Y'all probably was close, told each other everything X, Y, and Z. Then y'all not friends no more. You just gotta hope that they just not airing out all your dirty laundry. You know what I mean? So it's like but you gotta just hold yourself accountable the same way, not to air them out too, on no petty nothing. Like so, you just gotta. It's just all a hope. You just gotta throw it up in the air and hope it stays up, like Bobby Smurder hat.
Listen, man.
Free Bobby.
I say, like, I'm
Bobby
sure
free.
Bobby free Bobby. This summer is gonna be the craziest summer ever. Trust me. But definitely, I feel like we've all dealt with toxic masculinity.
Still dealing with it.
Still dealing with it. Still unlearning stuff. And I hope whoever's watching this, it may not fully relate to women or those who don't identify with either or, but definitely we hope this episode helps. Hope that we reach someone, that someone could relate. So definitely we ask you to, like, you know, if you love this content, please like, comment, subscribe to Real You Podcast. Give us 5 stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Don't be stingy. Don't be stingy. First pop up on Apple Music.
Don't be stingy. And definitely, like, check out our YouTube as well. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. And we'd love to hear from you all about toxic masculinity and what we talked about.
How does it affect you? How are you living through it? And what has it done to your relationships and life in general?
Definitely, and most certainly, please pose questions to us on anything. Like, just ask us. We're gonna definitely answer. Probably not in a fast manner, but just, you know, just so we can engage with our viewers and just, you know, get a little feedback and whatnot. So we appreciate each and every one of y'all tuning in.
That's the conclusion. That's the
And we
conclusion.
out,
Take
ladies
care.
and
We out of
gentlemen.
here. Boom.
5 stars.